When Bethany and I met in 2006, I was a boy and she was a girl, whatever that really means.
This is not your typical boy meets girl love story.
Today, Bethany and I both identify as non-binary and prefer they/them pronouns.
Actor Nico Tortorella and Bethany C. Meyers are a uniquely modern couple.
My wife, my husband, my best friend, my partner, my everything.
Both are gender fluid. Their marriage, polyamorous, redefining what it means to be husband and wife.
I mean, in layman terms, it's not man, not woman. All man, all woman.
It's all laid out in Nico's new book, Space Between, a place, they say, where people who don't consider themselves he or she can call their own.
And tell me the pronouns that you use.
They/them pronouns.
They/them pronouns.
Are preferred, all pronouns are welcome.
And I may screw it up.
It's okay.
If I mess it up along the way.
It's still a work in progress for everyone. I still mess up sometimes too.
What's the point of pronouns?
For me, they/them fully encompasses all of it that exists in my own multidimensional dynamic being, right? It just feels more inclusive. It feels wider.
Nico also revealing their painful struggles with coming out and facing their dark battle with alcohol.
When I started having access to the party, to the celebrity, to the free everything, it got out of control, like it does for so many people in this industry.
31-year-old Nico found fame playing the hyper-masculine tattoo artist Josh on TV Land's hit show Younger.
Who calls at 6 o'clock in the morning?
Portraying Lyle Menendez in Lifetime's Blood Brothers. And in the upcoming spin-off of AMC's The Walking Dead, Nico plays a queer character battling the zombie apocalypse.
You should be scared every time.
On the red carpet, Nico often makes a splash with wild, gender-bending outfits.
You have to be okay with a lot to get into this situation.
But here, at their upstate New York home, their sanctuary, Nico and Bethany are simply they.
But why get married? Because it seems to me a very traditional social construct for two very untraditional people.
I knew that when it came to having a foundation and a family foundation, that this was the person for me to do it with.
When it comes to, visiting each other in a hospital, God forbid that ever happens. When it comes to bringing children into the world, when it comes to health insurance, the system was built for a reason.
It's what works for them, and while Bethany and Nico are deeply committed to each other, they also each have multiple sexual partners.
Polyamorous, some people think, just means having group sex, but that's not what this is.
It's the ability to create space for more than one person at any given point.
How could you not be jealous?
You are not a jealous person. Like, I've never seen anything like it. Sometimes I'm like, get a little bit jealous. But jealousy is something that I often have to practice, and it's a very normal human emotion.
That's a great shot of the two of you, actually.
Nico and Bethany's untraditional love story began as teenagers in art school in Chicago, when Nico developed a crush.
Nico very much liked me, and I did not like Nico at first. I remember talking to one of my friends and being like, I don't know who this person is, and they kind of annoy me, but they're going to be in my life forever.
We talked about where you come from culturally, and how that is a place where you've had to deal with some
Backlash.
Sure. And resistance.
I'm from Missouri, small town, pretty conservative, raised, very traditional. I was raised knowing that if you're gay, you go to hell. I mean, that was kind of the only thing that I knew.
Nico also struggled growing up in a working-class Italian family.
I always knew that I was different. I think when I first realized that even homosexuality was an option, I saw it on TV. I would go down in the basement and watch Queer as Folk and delete it from the queue because I didn't want my parents knowing that I was watching it.
With leaving home in the Midwest, Nico came into their own. And with finding fame came a greater sense of purpose.
When you walk the runway, with the hairy chest and a full beard in a dress.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a lot of hyper-masculine female.
Well, it's political. I mean, it's not just throwing on a dress because I'm having fun. It's to prove a point. And I look good in a dress, so what's the problem? That I have a certain privilege that other people do not have. Wearing a dress is activism for me.
While Nico's fame has given them a platform, it's also been a double-edged sword.
You're very candid about your substance abuse and how rock bottom it got.
Yeah. Once you're just alone, drinking alone, doing drugs alone, you're completely numb to it all. It gets really scary, you know? It gets really lonely.
You describe Ashton Kutcher intervening.
I was 21 years old, living in New York City. Everyone was partying, and I had gone to ask him for some advice, and he was just like, don't put anything up your nose. We were all drinking. We were all up. I got into his face. He was like, you're high right now. I was high, so you feel like you're invincible. And we just started going at it. It didn't get physical. It could have.
Before quitting alcohol, alarm bells were also going off at home with Bethany.
There was days when I was like, hey, let's just have a day together. Let's just be like sober today. Let's go out. Let's not party. You know, let's go like be in the sunshine. And then Nico turned around and grabbed a bottle of vodka out of the freezer and started drinking it. And I was like, oh, you can't. And that was a really scary moment for me.
How is your sobriety today?
Great. Still, I speak of my sobriety as fluid, like the rest of who I am. I'm sober from alcohol. That was the one thing that really was the devil for me.
That messed you up.
So I gave up alcohol. I still smoke weed. I still use cannabis.
One of the things that I found most sort of refreshing about your book was the way that you paint your mother's evolution, right?
Her transition.
I mean, her transition alongside your transition.
Right, yeah.
When you quote her early on, it's homophobic.
Yeah, there's some gnarly stuff in there for sure. Yeah. But that was normal language, I feel like, for so much of that generation.
Nico's mom, Annie, joining us, looking back on that first time she saw her son in a dress here at New York's Fashion Week.
I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, like at one point, does it stop?
Right.
Where's the line? And I've realized there is no line. If you start drawing lines, then you're put in a box.
What would you say to other moms out there whose kids may be exploring sexuality?
And gender, right?
And gender.
It was more important for me to have the love of my son. Who am I to judge who he loves, who he doesn't love? He loves everybody.
And over the years, those lessons learned from Nico became part of Annie's every day.
How did you get to be friends with so many queer people in Florida?
It started with my hairdresser.
As it does.
Annie now surrounding herself with members of the LGBTQ plus community, like her son.
Trans, masseuse,
Gay
the
hairstylist.
gay hairstylist, and the lesbian
Doctor. Yeah.
Excellent.
Husband and wife, mother and son, on their separate paths, but bound by respect and an abiding love.
You said a lot of things to Nico. I'm sure he said plenty of choice things back to you. When you look back on it now, what do you think?
I want to say I wish I could do it all over again. I can't change the past, I can change today. Just as he's changing today for so many people, he's done that for me.
He's helped you change.
Our thanks to Juju. Nico's book, Space Between, is out now.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.